Good evening. Welcome to the Mancunian way. I have got guests coming. They're just a little bit delayed. They will be coming on very, very shortly. But Manchester City hit. They definitely could see through the Forest tonight. And they demolished Forest. Spend your 300 million. Spend your whatever millions you want. You got a little bit of a lesson tonight by the Norwegian monster, the Norwegian king, the man, the legend that is Erling Braut Haaland, Julian Alvarez, and in between that was a sublime, magnifico strike from João Cancelo. So how you are? I've just noticed one of our guests has joined us. I will bring him in 1 minute. Good evening, Muddy Duck. How are you, mate? Arise, the new king. Oh, mate, it's about me. Super City. Who are you talking about? Me or am I the new king? I'll take that. No worries, mate. No problem. City champions again. Whoa. Let's not go too deep. Let's not go too deep, mate. So yeah, I'm going to bring in one of our guests. Rich is with us, but he's on audio only because he is on his way to work in the car. But he has graced us with his presence. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning.
How you feeling? Super Six.
Excellent. No, it was nice to see for the first time this season we really played with an intensity all game and from the start. So that was really good, and some really, not just Erling, but some really pleasing performances from the team.
Yeah. It was. Now listen, I know Rich Vader is going to join us in 1 minute. He's just a bit busy at the minute. I know, Rich, you say you like a competitive game normally.
Yep.
Surely you enjoyed that, though.
Yeah,
that was...
It was intense. So, what I don't like is the snooze fest like Bournemouth was and West Ham was in some ways. But this was actually intense. City played from the start with an energy, with a vibe. The crowd was up, so it wasn't a game that you were, not enjoyable because it wasn't competitive.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying it. Alvarez was brilliant. We're going to wax lyrical on probably everyone tonight. Probably the one man who's going to get. Hello, Alec Johnson. How are you, mate? Kiami's on. Sell Haaland. He was crap second half. Don't be naughty. Rich.
Yeah.
I mean, you said there that the crowd were up for it. I mean, being in the stadium, the crowd were a bit. I've been to more intense atmospheres, but tonight, I don't think tonight, Rich, was.
In some ways.
Well, I don't think tonight it was a bad atmosphere. Do you know what I think it was tonight? Do you know when you're in complete awe of something?
Yeah.
And you sort of sat there like, wow. And I think that's what it was tonight. I put a tweet out earlier on. That was as close to prime Barcelona as you're ever going to get. I know it's Nottingham Forest, and I know people are going to say, Martin, you're going way overboard here, but just watch that.
Yeah, no, and I wasn't being sarcastic about the crowd. I think the crowd did sound, it did sound good. I flicked over to, watch the last 25 minutes of Liverpool Newcastle after that, and honestly, all you could hear was the Newcastle fans. It was like early Emirates, the live feed, and compared to the atmosphere at City, which was actually, I actually think it is a bit better now in the last couple of home games and maybe the end of last season than it has been for a little while. So, but I think Haaland's actually, really got, the fans in awe.
Do you know what it is? I think some fans still can't believe he's there. And he's doing what he does. Because the scary thing is, Rich, in all of this, you've got to remember, this is a player who every single top team in world football wanted.
Yeah. And you know
And he's in a blue shirt.
Yeah, I don't think he can quite believe he's there. I mean, it was fascinating at the end to watch that. You know, at the end of the game, he's on the pitch and he's walking around and he's actually, you can see his eyes, he's looking at every bit of the stand and kind of taking it in and observing and everything. And it's not, you don't often, you might see that in a player in their last game when they try to take everything in and say goodbye. But Haaland's doing it like, this is where, you know, this is where I always wanted to be playing in the Premier League, scoring goals, getting hat tricks, and now I'm here, and I'm actually going to stop and take it in and realise what I've done. I mean, it was quite incredible to watch that, but it wasn't just a hat trick; it was the perfect hat trick because it was left, right, and head.
I don't listen. I could sit and wax lyrical about all of this, but let's start with the lineup. Did the lineup surprise you in any way?
Not that much. I thought we might have given Gomez a go, but I said I thought we'd rest De Bruyne and start Alvarez. So in many ways, yeah, the lineup was pretty much as I expected. I think De Bruyne and Gundogan will be getting rests, and Bernardo as well. So I think we're going to continually see that. I thought it would be hard to leave Haaland out after the hat trick. So I think the lineup was really pleasing actually because I really felt Alvarez has looked good off the bench. He's got energy and intensity, and Mahrez hasn't started well. So I was kind of really hoping that Alvarez or maybe even Palmer would get a game.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say that front three, I didn't think would start so early on in the season. I wasn't anticipating Alvarez, Haaland. And do you know what tonight was? It wasn't even a front three. Let's call it as it was. That is the first time in a long time I've seen City, and I quote Mike Bassett, play 4-4-2.
Well, most of the time it was 4-2-4.
Where did that come from, Rich? Where did 4-4-2 appear from?
Yeah, well, I think it was more 4-2-4 or 3-3-4.
But it wasn't the traditional three up top.
It was 4 up front. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. No. But it's been a lot more fluid because the one thing with the way Alvarez moves and runs, he's not going to be hugging the left or hugging the right. And he's obviously not going to be hugging the centre with Haaland on the pitch. He's everywhere. He is. Quite. His movement and his getting around the pitch and his energy, his fitness. It's quite incredible. I mean, when we got the 6th goal, he was still up and down the pitch, right to left. He was still everywhere, and that's in the 87th minute. So his energy level, it's like Tevez, but unlike Tevez, he isn't a dick.
I mean, I've got to say, like I said, Vader is going to join us. He's just busy at the moment, but Vader is backstage. As soon as he appears back on camera and gives me the thumbs up, he'll be in. I've got to say, Haaland will take all the plaudits tonight, but Alvarez was, I mean, listen, I hold my hand up. I said I thought the kid would need time, and I don't think he's going to play week in, week out just on the back of one amazing performance. I still think Pep's going to look after him and you know what I mean, and sort of do it in the correct way with him. But he's proven. I thought he'd take a lot longer to adapt, but the kid, like you said, 87, 88, 89th minute, he's still going. He's still going.
And that's the thing. And he could start.
I'm just going to bring Vader in while you're talking, Rich. Go on.
Yeah. He could start 8, 9, 10 games in the next 2 months and still, only be playing half the time. So, I think there's so much football coming up so intensively before the World Cup that actually no one can possibly play, every game. So it's going to be that mix, as long as we're as long as we go in this season, because there's so much football in such a little amount of time.
Yeah. Vader, good afternoon to you, mate.
Good afternoon. Apologies for the tardiness.
Don't worry.
Balancing.
I bet that give you an afternoon to live for, wouldn't it?
Oh, if those are going to be the afternoon games, I'm going to have to reschedule my whole day because I don't want to miss a minute of it. It was absolutely the perfect thing for a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Now,
Yusuf dubbed you in. Yusuf dubbed you in, Vader.
Oh, hold on. What's? I don't even have the comments on. I'm so scrambled.
Vader came from Football Terrace.
I did, and you know what? I would have still only have been 5 minutes late, but then life got in a little bit of the way. But let me say this:
don't you worry. You come on if and when you can. Same with Rich. I know Rich is taking his time out while he's traveling to work, so if you don't mind giving us a thumbs up just for Rich, who's traveling away in the car, and we make sure he's. You got your seatbelt on? Are you using hands free?
Yeah, you know
what? Certainly am.
I mean, let's go through I don't want to go through every goal bit by bit, but that first goal, Haaland's strength, his tenacity, from that range past Henderson. It was past him before he even knew. Yeah. And you know what I loved about it was I've always said you can tell with City how they're going to play from the get-go. Watch the first 5 minutes. And tonight they came out wanting it straight from the get-go. They wanted it. And this squad, I will be honest, and Rich, you know this, I've had a lot of doubts about the amount of changes we've done this summer, of ins and outs. And you know what? I'm looking at it and I think this could be the best thing. This squad, I think, needed a refresh. I think it needed a new impetus put in. No offense to Sterling, Gabby, or anyone else who's left, but do you know when you've been there for so long and you keep winning, it's keeping that drive and that mentality going, that concentration going year after year. It's hard.
Yeah, and you need youth. You need to keep refreshing. Because you don't want to end up in a situation which, in many ways, our neighbours across in the swamp have never recovered from. If you let a whole team age without swapping players in and out and bringing in young players, you're going to end up in trouble. And, look at that forward line today. I mean, what's the average age of that forward line? It's a bit under 22. So you've got players in Foden, Alvarez, and Haaland who, could still be playing top-level football in the best part of 15 years' time. So, it's an incredibly young side forwards-wise with those guys playing. And, it needed a refresh. It needed new energy. It needed excitement. And I think Pep needed that too because, Pep is someone who's stayed 4 years at Barca, 3 years at Munich, and this is his 7th year at City. So, he needs something to refresh his interest and his passion and some new mental challenges. And I think Haaland and Alvarez, etc., giving that to Pep as well.
Do you know what? Great point. Pep tonight, I've never seen him as cool, calm, and collected tonight. White shirt, black jeans, white trainers, giving it someone that he looks so content and happy. And then you see Foden and Haaland when they go off and the smile. Everyone's saying about Haaland and Foden, this, that, and the other because of 2 crosses. But let's be honest, for a week, we did go a little bit like Liverpool fans with Foden on, hang on a minute, baby out with the bathwater. And tonight, you just see
we didn't go that bad. But
if you did, if you did, and they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like with Edison. Edison suddenly crap getting at the door, blah, blah, blah.
That was extreme.
And you know what? Haaland might be being a very good influence on Foden. You know, Haaland is renowned for, you know, being 24 hours a day football. You know, he isn't, you know, apart from wearing pajamas in, you know, the Algarve for a week in the summer and a bit of sunshine, he's obsessed with football and watching football and training football and working out ways to improve. And I think, you know, an influence like that on Foden, an absolute elite mentality, can only be good for Phil, because I think Phil has got every bit of the ability of any young footballer in world football at that age. But, you know, if I've ever questioned anything in Phil, it's, is he pushing himself quite that hard? Is he quite that elite? So I think Haaland's mentality will be great for Phil. And, you know, a bromance between those two, for me, would be a very good thing.
I mean, we'll have to excuse Yusuf. Yusuf's a bit excited because he got his 98th minute winner. I don't,
Yeah,
you know, Liverpool have got their own referees now, haven't they? They
Yeah,
get away with an
I mean-
offside goal and blah, 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 blah.
but
8
be
minutes of
fair-
extended time.
To be fair, that broke Fergie's record. Fergie's best ever goal was in the 97th minute of a 95-minute game, and Klopp just smashed Fergie's record by nearly a minute. So
Crushed it.
fair play to him. He has done what Fergie couldn't do. He's turned 5 minutes into 8.
So is it
rather
not
than
Fergie
97.
time anymore? Is it Klopp time?
They're playing for third place or second place, so leave
Yeah,
them to it.
they're way off. I'm sorry, I'm not even being arrogant or cocky there. I mean,
Transfer window's not over,
yeah.
so we'll see what they end up doing. With regards to what I love seeing from our matches, and I think when as you guys mentioned it earlier, sometimes the first 5 minutes you can tell how we're playing. Pep is so adamant for the approach to the match, like the attitude to be the same. Like he wants us to be the aggressors. So when we see that, then we know, okay, everyone's up for it. This is a match where we're gonna like dictate or enforce our will. We saw that from the very beginning. We tried to predict what this starting 11 was going to be, and it was all over the place. But what we saw, there was no concerns. Like seeing the 11 that Pep put out there, I was like, you know what? There's rotation. I have confidence in what we see, and we were all giddy. I'm sure. Apologies if I missed this earlier, but we were all giddy to see Haaland and Alvarez to start. I had to change my background and put both of them back there, not only because of the game that they had, but the fact that they played together and showed.
We are going to go on to Alvarez, yeah, because Christine's mentioned it. We're not. This is not just the Erling Haaland appreciation show. As much as we love him, you know, we are going to talk about Alvarez. I mean, the little last thing. I mean, Kiam says Scarecrow stayed back. There's one thing I noticed with Walker tonight. With the way we were so fluent in our movement and our play, Walker didn't do what he's done previous against he sort of was steady, calm. And tonight he went back and he did his job properly, what he has been known to do. Do you not think, Rich? Tonight, Walker was right back to the way he was, cool, calm, stayed back, didn't do anything stupid, wasn't marching into midfield and all that other stuff.
Yeah. And I think you know, today played back to our strengths again, and you know, maybe you know, I thought, you know, Diaz was looking better tonight. I thought Stones, you know, something happened at half time against in
Newcastle?
the game, you know, a couple of days. Newcastle. No.
Palace.
My memory's going again. Palace game, yeah, half time in that game.
Are you thinking it was a Joe Royal
Stones.
Dogs of War have a punch-up sort of thing?
I don't know what happened, but something happened at half time. We were really quite lazy in the first half. No one played well. Everyone was off their game. You know, De Bruyne, Bernardo missing passes. Stones was quiet, and something happened at half time, and Stones woke up in the second half of that game. And I thought tonight again, he was dynamic. He was everywhere. He was passing the ball well. You know, some of that. And what Stones adds in, which only he and Laporte can do, is they just speed up the game out of defence. You know, Ake and Diaz are not as good at finding the right passes. So I just thought we, all over the pitch, you know, even though I thought tonight that Cancelo didn't go and occupy all of Foden's space. Foden and Cancelo worked, better, and just every aspect seemed to work better. So we learned from the first half at Palace, and I think one of the commentators I was watching put it best. We just and I think it was what Haaland said in the interview. All we wanted to do was start today as we finished against Palace, and that's what they did. They started the game and we played the first half with real momentum and real quality.
Real gusto.
First time in a while, because at the end of last season, Villa, West Ham, there were many games last season where we just really didn't find our game until half time, and it was nice to see us back on top and
it
getting
took a
some
kick
early
up the
goals.
arse to get us going.
Yeah, and the difference between Pep in the first 3 games and how he looked at the end of the Palace game and then how he looked tonight, he looked really, really happy. So it's almost like something's been bugging him, and he's suddenly looked just relaxed again.
I'm going to come on. I'm going to play devil's advocate in a minute, because I know waxing lyrical. I'm going to come to you later on this about Manchester City being amazing tonight. But go back to the documentary that's been coming out on City Plus, or essentially City TV, is what I call it. And there was a physio on there, and the sports scientist all said it takes 3 or 4 games into the season, maybe a bit more, to get our flow going. Now, you've got to remember we'd only had 2 preseason games. 3 or 4 of our key squad were not there. We know why. We won't go into that. So I think tonight was just a culmination of everything clicked, everything went right. But my devil's advocate part is, were Forest poor as well?
Yeah. Were
Forest naive? Because apparently their managers come out tonight and said they were naive, especially in the opening 2 or 3 goals.
Yeah, I mean, to say that they were poor, I think they played to their level, to be honest with you, because they played Spurs. They didn't look all that threatening. Forget the other matches they had with regards to earlier in the season. They weren't going to match our level of play. So the fact that we put away so many goals against them, I think, speaks to them not shutting down shop and keeping everything in front of them. And again, maybe from a manager standpoint, he's looking to see them fight it through. He's looking to see who's got the guts, who's going to fight in these difficult games. Not too sure what the decision was there, but we came out playing at our level, and that's what we saw. I'm not really gonna put it as Forest having a bad game. I think they played to their level. I think
no, I'm just like I said. I don't think that. I know. Because that's what some will say. We're all sat here going, that was as close to prime Barcelona as you're going to get prime Barcelona back in the day. For an overall performance. Even Rich was entertained, and Rich hates 5 or 6-0s because he finds them boring. But Rich loves the 6-3. Rich loves the 4-3. So for Rich to be impressed with a 6-0 tells you everything you need to know.
No, I agree, and I think it's a bit harsh to say it's naive. I mean, look at the first goal there. The Forest defender was with Haaland. They went out to stop the cross, but the fact is that Haaland is stronger, is faster, and is better. And if he's going up 50-50, the defender can do everything right. And still, the only way they're going to stop a goal in that circumstance is a penalty. And, so it's really difficult to criticise a team or an individual player for being naive when they're just up against someone who is better. And
do you think their managers just making excuses then?
That's happened a few times.
I think the manager is just pointing out
Well,
that they
what
weren't
can you
dialed
say?
in.
You can do what Scott Parker did and say, we've just been beaten by the best side in the world. What can you do? Or
What,
you can
demand
try
more
and give
money?
a reason why you lost.
I mean,
No, don't do that.
the only thing I would say, this is a team that have spent a lot of money by rights, have broken a lot of their own records, have brought in a lot of players. Surprisingly, not a lot of them have started so far. They've only started, from what I've seen, 5 or 6 of them. They're not there to bring in the fifth, 19, 20 players that they brought in, But tonight for me wasn't, I'm with you and Rich on this, mate. I don't think whatever Forest could have done, because Forest didn't do what they did against Spurs. You look at what Forest did against Spurs, they were very open, played nice, attractive, and, tried to gun-ho football it, and they got picked off on the break by Spurs twice.
Mhm.
I'd say that was more naive than what they did tonight. Because I think tonight they didn't really, that was a different Forest than Sunday, completely.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So they
but
came and they
again,
stuck men. So what did he do?
but
Imagine what
this
it would have been if they had played expansive open football tonight. Jesus Christ.
exactly,
Yeah.
and this is
No,
it. This is it.
yeah.
This is it. Sorry, Rich.
Yeah.
What Pep has done, right? What the club has done has acquired the players to be able to adjust to different approaches that clubs are going to take defensively against us. Honestly, had Cooper decided to have, I don't know, 5-4 and one up top, what if he had chose to do that, then it would have been a methodical, we're going to look for our points and we would attack, and it would have been a long day for him. I think the success, not, I shouldn't say success, but I think the battles that he's seen from our opponents recently, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, is you have to be brave. You have to actually play somewhat open and attack City. Uh, I wouldn't fault his approach. I would just say that there was a difference in class today.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
that's
think,
where I'm at.
to be fair, when you talk about Newcastle man for man are a level above Forest, a big level above Forest, and they were also playing at home, with their fans behind them. So, that's a couple of goals start again in comparison to Forest that Newcastle had. So, Forest, you're just essentially talking about 11 players who, man for man, are not as good as the 11 individuals on another team. You're then talking about giving the better 11 individuals, a 2-year head start or 3-year head start in terms of playing together, and also the best coach in the world. So, for Forest to get a result against City are going to have to play significantly under their level, and Forest are going to have to play significantly over their level. And that happened a couple of times last year with say Southampton and Palace, and great coaching jobs, and even those games last year with Haaland and Alvarez, and the goal capacity we have now, we'd probably won 3 or 4 of those 7 games that we dropped points other than Liverpool. So I think it's, you can't be too hard on a team. You can be hard on them if they give up and they make really sloppy mistakes, but they were good goals. They were well worked, ruthless, and City were playing across the pitch, were playing well. And I just don't think, a side like Forest has a hope if City are playing well from 1 to 11 and up for it. I don't see how a team like Forest can come to the Etihad and get a result.
Yeah, I know, Vader, you've got to run in a moment, you mate. You've got to make dinner for the kids. So, any last comments on you, Vader, before me and Rich will wrap this up? We're just going to say a couple of more points.
Yeah, let me drop this with you guys. The fact that Pep chose to rotate KDB in this match, I think speaks volumes. I think every player from the beginning of the season, let's remember, and I know we also have our backstories, controversial or not, with Bernardo not starting and things of that nature. But we've already seen Bernardo not starting for the first 2 games. We've seen Gundogan be rotated and come on for 2 games. And now we've seen KDB be subbed on for this game. If Pep continues to have the confidence in himself and the authority, continues to flex the authority, because not many managers are courageous to actually have so many rotations with regards to their squad. If he continues to do this, I think us as City fans can be extremely confident for this season, because he's managing them game by game, and there's absolutely no egos. Because if you can drop Gundogan, if you can drop KDB, Silva, no other player can have an issue with that. And I love seeing that with regards to how this season's been kicked off.
Yeah, I'm totally with you, buddy. I really, really am. And do you know what? I'm running out of things to say about this team. I really am.
Yeah,
I really, really am. Now, you let me know, Vader, when you've got to jump, mate.
No, I actually have to bounce, but I'm gonna remain listening on, and hopefully I can send some comments with regards to the show. I just can't be on this camera right now.
No,
I love the show,
mate. Thank you.
Everyone in the comments, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and don't miss the Daily 10. I love that. I love that new addition to the channel. Thank you, guys.
Wait, well, tomorrow's a transfer special. Deadline day.
You might have to do more than one Daily 10.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks,
we're
guys.
going along. Cheers, Vader. Rich.
Yep.
All the plaudits have gone to Haaland tonight. Julian Alvarez.
I'd have given Alvarez
been more exciting.
I'd have given him the man of the match tonight, Alvarez, just for his work. 2 great goals, and his work rate was incredible. I think what he gives us, which we've perhaps lacked a little bit, it is just that really pacey intensity. Like, he really does add an intensity and a whole different problem to the forward, to our forward line for the opposition defence. So, you're looking at it and you're thinking, well, the manager's right. How do we stop Haaland? Well, we're going to need to double or triple mark him, and then you've got Alvarez.
That doesn't work, by the way.
He's going to be right, left, centre, back, running around, pressing like Gabby J, but finishing like Aguero. I mean, it's obviously one game, a long way to go, but he offers us just that intensity, and that's the thing that's probably bugged me about Mahrez in the start of this season, and when he's not in form, is that he just there's not a real energy and intensity from him. But Alvarez gives us that, and so that's a whole new problem for defence of the opposition. He's pulling them around. Haaland's dominating their thinking, and then around that you've got Bernardo and Foden and De Bruyne and Gundogan, coming in and now getting more space than they've had for a while. So it's very exciting, and Alvarez could be an incredibly exciting.
Well, he could have had an hat trick. He hits the post, if you remember, in the first half.
He could have easily had a hat trick. So he's
and like
exciting.
you said, he's still going in the 90th minute. He's still running. He's still going. And do you know what I love about this? I mean, someone mentioned earlier on about give Haaland a rest. I wouldn't rest Haaland at the minute. Do you know why? Because psychologically,
we can bring him off after.
Well, not only that, I think that has a psychological edge.
Yeah, I mean, they will know. They will. Haaland is a young player. He's getting looked at, by really good medical staff. So they will know when Haaland is going to benefit from the playing. And I think the reality is Haaland is not running the distances and the intensity of a lot of our other players. So he's
actually not doing a lot in games in terms of running He's not running himself into the ground. If you look what he's doing he is literally, how do I put this, a fox in the box at the moment in terms of everyone else around is doing the donkey work and he's Johnny on the spot. I mean, when was the last time? I know we had Aguero who did this, but I mean like proper 4-5 yards out would bang, score goals. How many times last season, Rich, did we have balls coming in from Grealish, from Foden, from Bernardo, smacking across the six-yard box and no one's there?
Nearly every game, and I think that's
exactly. I'm quite happy
finally
when we suddenly get a striker.
Yeah, finally replaced the GOAT. I've been waiting for, best part of 20 years. We've finally got a new GOAT.
Yeah, do you know who it reminds me of? And people will laugh at me for this. They will absolutely laugh at me. And it's not Aguero. Can you have a guess, Rich, who he reminds from the 90s?
What, a tall Mickey Quinn?
No, but like a Paulie Walsh combined with a bit of Uwe. A little bit of... I mean, in a way, you could say now Quinn, Uwe, Rosalind, Paul Walsh combined, really, with him, if you actually look at what he does. Because, like you said, he has 3 defenders around him, and he still bangs off.
How about Messi's pace and finishing in Andy Carroll's body?
Well, in Nunez's body.
Because he's,
can I give you some brand news, Rich? I don't know if anyone knows this. Bernardo Silva has tonight confirmed he is staying at Manchester City. Bernardo Silva is staying at Manchester City. It is out of his own lips, his own mouth. He's put it all to bed. He stays. Said he's happy. No bid came for him. So he stays. That's where we're at. So anyone going into panic mode because Gerard Romero has come out in the last hour and said, things are moving. Yeah, the only thing moving is his lips.
Yeah, I wonder what Romero's on. He's not having a word. He'll be still calling it on bloody Friday after the transfer window's closed.
It'll be 2 a.m. tomorrow and Gerard Romero's going, it's on, it's done. Things are happening. Why, what's happening?
And I see someone tried to start a massive rumour that Leroy Sané was coming back. There's certainly going to be some entertainment in the next 24 hours with some of the rumours that are going to come out.
Yeah, it did actually make me laugh. It made me so much laugh. I mean, Bernardo tonight, Gundogan tonight. Here's a scary thought for you, Rich. We were 5-0 up. So, like any good team, they say Haaland off. Bye-bye. Yep. Foden goes off. Bye-bye. You bring on Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, that was a bit rude, I thought.
That's naughty.
I thought that was rude.
It was a bit naughty, that. I sat in the stadium going, that's naughty. That is naughty of Pep to do that, really.
Yeah. I wasn't quite... I couldn't quite understand, why we did that. Maybe De Bruyne just said, I really fancy a little run around tonight.
Well, he did. Yeah, I mean, but do you know what, Rich? What did we say about De Bruyne last season? We literally ran the guy in the ground.
Yeah.
And tonight, you know what? Again, which we've said before, when we have Gundogan and Bernardo playing as they're playing, on form and together in that role, I don't think you miss KDB as much.
Yeah.
And you had Alvarez there.
Yeah.
So for me, it's all positives.
Yeah. You could see from the subs where Pep's most worried about the legs. I mean, bringing off Rodri, I thought was really, really sensible move. I mean, until Phillips is back and fit, we can't afford him to get injured. So it was really good to see him brought off early. I think getting one of our centre backs off, when Stones came off, I think that was important. So you just want to protect the players. And at the moment, I'm assuming that it sounds like we're going to close the Kanji deal today. So
he's in Manchester. He's having it. And he's done the
and
first part of his medical.
and it sounds like Phillips should be back. So hopefully,
Aki's back.
yeah.
Do you know what? That's
Hopefully we can
sketch.
give a few of those players some game time.
You've got Grealish back, Aki back, Phillips back, Akanji's coming in, Sergio Gomez came on, Rico Lewis came on. Do you know what?
Palmer, he's starting to. Rico Lewis and Palmer are getting some game time, which is very good.
Which is what you wanted.
Yeah.
We all wanted.
Yeah, no, it's vital because at some point we're going to need those players, and even if it's in cup games or wherever it is, we're going to need some of those players. So I hope that Palmer's getting 20-30 minutes every week when there's a chance, and Rico Lewis as well, so that if and when they're needed, they're ready to actually start games. So and I think it's a real change for Pep. I mean, 5 subs tonight, and I think that's the second time he's used 5 subs this season. So I think he's realising how important it is to rest players, protect players, get minutes into the players, and I think that's going to be really quite important in what's going to be a killer season. I think De Bruyne reckoned that he could play 74 games if he played every game in every cup.
Is that with the World Cup?
Yeah. There was something like 74 games in about 10 months. So
you got to remember that thing with Haaland. You don't need to keep resting Haaland. Haaland's going to have a 2-month rest at Christmas.
Yeah. Well, you need to rest him only if injury. If he gets fatigued and he's at risk of injury, we rest him. But he doesn't need to be rested in the same way as some of the other players.
And you know what? Like you just said, Haaland, for me, you can play him October, November. He's going to have a 2-month rest because remember, Norway are not going to the World Cup. Everyone else is. Haaland's not. So Haaland can just kick his feet up, put it. And do you know what I loved tonight? Haaland, when he came off, what he did to the fans. He's embraced everything about this club. He loves this football club already. And you can see it in him. You can see it in Alvarez. You can see it across everyone tonight. I thought that, for me, was the most all-round performance I've seen in a very, very long time.
Yeah, no, it was excellent. It was everything we want, but we've just got to keep it going.
It's only one. Listen, it's a nice start. We've won 4, drawn 1. Let's not get carried away. Let's not do the opposite of some fans who said they're out the title race. Let's not say we won the title now. This is still a long season. There'll be twists, there'll be turns.
No, we've got, and remember, in the next 6 games, we've got Spurs, United, and Liverpool. So we have got, a couple.
Well, I think Yusuf said that earlier on.
Easier games coming up, but I think a real test will be Spurs at home, because Spurs are our kryptonite. So how do we play against Spurs at home? Then I think we've got United at home as well, which is
but that's not a test, is it, Rich? You said they're getting relegated.
They probably will, but they're one of those relegation sides that always seems to go well at the ETIHAD compared to not last season, but generally. And then Liverpool, who we don't often see a result in Liverpool City league matches nowadays. I mean, we've only lost about 1 in 9 or something against them in the league, but I think we've only won 2 or 3. It's been draw after draw after draw. So I think if we get through those next 6 games and we've won 4 or 5, then I think we get very we will be very strong favourites for the league, and unless Arsenal are 10 wins on the bounce or something at that stage. But there's a bit of work to come now, and I'm just glad to see that we've found fitness and form going into those games, and we will get, if we beat particularly if we beat Spurs, because everyone at the club knows that they're our bloody bogey side. if we beat Spurs, that'll be I would imagine, a huge psychological lift to the team, and I think we'll be hugely focused on that.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be an exciting one. Man of the match for you? Did you say Alvarez?
Yeah, I'd have given it to Alvarez. Just all round, his work rate, his involvement in everything. I thought, he was magnificent. I mean, Haaland, it's a hard one with Haaland because he's, it's like 8, 9 touches, 3 goals, 3 shots on target. It's almost perfect, but you almost feel bad giving him man of the match when you've seen someone else, touch the ball 40, 50, 60 times, run everywhere, and get 2 goals.
Yeah.
I
I find giving a man of the match hard tonight because everyone will go Haaland for the hat trick, or people say Alvarez for his 2 goals and his work rate and everything else. People say Bernardo, some will say Gundogan. Do you know what? Give it to the old team tonight.
Do you know what? I also liked Stones tonight. I thought Stones was everywhere. So he was back to his best. And that really sets the tempo for the team.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm going to say is, listen, it's been a great night. A promoted team is always tricky, especially in the opening part of the season, the opening quarter, because that's where they're most at their confidence levels are at the highest and they're flying. And City have just gone about and done their job. But tonight was a little bit different. Tonight was a little bit of panache. Tonight was a little bit of a statement, I think, out to the rest of the league of we're about to click. And all I'll say is, I'm not saying it'll happen. The last time we started like this, Rich, do you want to remind everyone what happened the last time we started the season like this?
Depends which one you want. I mean, we started like this in Pep's first season, and only just.
I'm talking about I'm talking about the Centurions.
Yeah, the Centurion season or Pep's first season. So let's hope it's more of the latter than the former.
Centurion. Yeah. Listen, we'll see. I just want to thank everyone for coming on. Please, if you hit a thumbs up, please make sure you do. And if you're not subscribed to the Mancunian Way, please. We have had nearly 100 subscribers in the last 28 days. Big thank you to you all. If you are new, subscribe to the channel. We're not stopping there. We want to get to that 1,000 mark as soon as we can. Not because of everything, the 1,000 mark gives us more opportunity for you, the Mancunian Way community, the Mancunian Way family. We can start doing more things for you, get you involved. We can go live on mobile phones. We can do all sorts of things with that. We're not having, we can really get people going and get people involved, and that's what we want. We want to start doing giveaways. There's loads of things that we've got planned. We've got so many guests lined up, and guests that you know and you will love. Trust me, really, really good conversations coming up here on the Mancunian Way. Make sure you are subscribed so you are there. Give it a thumbs up. I must tell everyone now, there is no Thursday night chat tomorrow. I have to go to the hospital for a scan for my mother. I completely slipped my mind. So, there's no... I have told Rich, maybe Rich is only just finding this out for the first time. But no, there's no Thursday night chat tomorrow. We'll be at the hospital till late. So I do apologize. We'll be back our normal spot. Please, wholehearted apologies. It's just tomorrow. I've got to get my mother sorted. That's the way it is, sadly. But we will be back at 7 a.m. tomorrow. It is transfer deadline day. If anything breaks, we will go live. If anything breaks, and I don't mean a canja, I mean if suddenly there's a U-turn and Bernardo's out the door and City bring in a superstar or whatever, then we'll do something live. Won't be in the evening, but I will try and come live in the day for that. If there is anything, I won't come live for a rumour. We're not going to come live for clickbait or in the nose. We'll only come live when it is reliable, bang, 100% nearly done. That's when we'll come live. Have a lovely evening, all. Thank you to Rich. You're on your way to work, aren't you, mate?
Yep. And looking forward to Villa now.
Yeah, on to Sunday. And I think it's on the TV, isn't it, Rich?
They're all on the TV here. So
thank you, Stephen Dempster. I may do a watch along to make up for Thursday night. I may do a watch along on Sunday, but I will keep it updated for that. So that'll make up for Thursday night. I'll do a watch along on Sunday. I think it's on TV over there, isn't it? It's on Sky. Man City for life. We are going. I do apologise. So yeah, make sure you do. Keep an eye on the socials. I'm back 7 a.m. tomorrow for the City Daily in 10, City News in 10. Take care. Thank you, Rich. On to Villa.
thank you.
And yeah, City of it, Forest for 6. Haaland and Alvarez
Excellent.
cut down that Forest. See you later.
See ya.